Hello, I'm going to be talking about the Children of Blood and Bone. I'm going to start with a character analysis. There are three main characters, four technically, but there's three narrator characters. The first one is Zele, who is the most influential one in the story. She has the ability to use magic, and that gets unlocked after another character activates it with the ancient scroll. Headstrong and motivated. She is a very independent character. Her past includes when her mother was killed in front of her and her father was beaten to an inch of his life. So normal childhood. Then her brother, Zane, is a very flat character. He doesn't change much in the story. He was there in Zele's childhood, and he's just overprotective. Doesn't do much. Just very hands-on and Inan is, I think, the most dynamic character because he goes from an antagonist to a protagonist to an antagonist all throughout the story. I feel he has the most interesting struggle of the story because it's mostly internal of fighting of ideals. It's a fight between his father's ideals, his ideals, and Zele's ideals. The reason Zele's ideals are in the mix is because of his magic ability, which is to see into people's dreams and minds. This happens when he's about to kill Zele because he wants to end magic, and she is the key to it, and all of her trauma basically just dumps onto him. And he's like, oh, we're kind of the bad guys, huh? And then he changes his heart until another thing happens. I'll get to that in the plot assessment. Final character is Amani. She is the princess of the kingdom, sister to Anan, and is confident in herself and is willing to fight against her society, but gets cold feet because of her trauma with her brother and her dad forcing them to fight. She is hesitant to cause harm to people, and she has a very internal struggle until the end of the book on it. For the plot, the story mainly on oppressing those who can do magic because of the fear of what they can do, and the journey to return magic so that they can fight against their oppressive society. And this goes through many stages where Zele's home gets destroyed by Anan and his king's men to find the scroll that Amari stole that is the incantation to return magic in a ritual. And Amari, Zele, and Zane are all on their way to a temple to figure out how to bring back magic. Where there's a guy there that exposition dumps everything in front of them, and they know they have to go to a holy island that appears only 100 years and do a sacred ritual to bring back magic. But they're missing an artifact. There's three. They had the scroll. That guy had a bone dagger and needed to perform a blood ritual, and a sunstone, which is in a desert place called EGE. They go there and they fight in an arena to get it back. They do this, and this is where Amari's first taste of her fear for combat. A very important part that will be influential in the ending is blood magic. Blood magic is an extremely potent form of magic, but extremely dangerous. So it's stated throughout the whole book, you're gonna do some wacky stuff with it, but you're probably going to die. So, they go through the arena, they get the sunstone, they're on their way to the island, and they take a break in this jungle place. That's when Anan catches up to them, and they have a brutal fight, Zele and Anan. In that moment, Amari and Zane are both kidnapped by diviners, people who can use magic, but it's not activated yet. Kidnap them because they think they're with the king to kill them. You know, the whole trauma dump on Anan. He and Zele go to save Amari and Zane. Then they have a whole celebration after the miscommunication is fixed. Then all the king's men come and basically just kill a bunch of them, and a fire dude uses blood magic that entirely just kills them and kills a bunch of other people. Then Anon has another change of heart, and he believes that he needs to destroy magic in order to protect Zele and her family. So, Zele, Zane, and Amari go to the shore of where the island's going to be. And they pick up some friends from the Viner place to take them there. That's when the king's war fleet is there and tries to stop them. Luckily, they take over a ship and sneak it into there. They get into the temple, they sneak in, and at the bottom is the king with Zele's father ready to kill him. And they're like, "Oh no, what's happening?" And I actually forgot a crucial part. Zele was captured when the Diviner camp got completely owned, and she was tortured by the king with a blade that stops magic. So, she can't do magic anymore, is keeping it a secret, hoping it might just work when she's in the temple. Seeing her dad there, she's like, "I'll give you the scroll, just don't kill him." Like, okay. And as her dad's walking to her, he gets shot in the back and dies. And that causes an extremely potent form of blood magic to happen, where his soul basically goes into her, and she goes insane and kills a bunch of people, turning them into ash with death magic. Well, Anon's still trying to destroy the scroll, and he's like, "Uh-oh," and he can't destroy it with his own magic because the scroll can only be destroyed by magic, and he can't do it. So he's like, "Hey, Zele, hit me," and she tries to, and she destroys the scroll. He's like, "Haha, owned." And then he high fives with his dad right before a guy comes to try and decapitate the king, which then Anon's like, "Oh, I got you, Dad," and mind blasts the dude. This causes the king to go into an irate rage and try and kill his son. He does. Well, he got him and is about to do the final blow before Amari has a duel with him to death, and Amari wins. And with that ritual broken because the scroll's gone, she uses blood magic again to try and reach into her ancestors and say, "Hey, just give me the incantation I need." They give her a new one that's way stronger and connects to royals' old lineage of magic. It just rekindles it, and now royals can use magic. Uh-oh. And that's where the book ends. So pretty good. The main theme of the book is, if you discriminate people, they're going to fight back to tooth and nail, and it's very unlikely you're going to win, because they have nothing to lose. And the things I liked about the book: Anon, he is a super good and dynamic character. I liked everything about his story, his arc, his backstory, everything about it was great. The use of Deus Ex Machina at the end felt rewarding. It didn't feel like a cop-out. It felt like it was well used. My least favorite thing, Zane. They could have done way more with Zane. He was a very flat character. I felt like he had nothing. Like, he was just bland. And that's honestly it. I love this book. I would totally recommend it.